let's kind of jump into the kind of the breaking news that we've had over the last few days and up a couple hours ago. So NBA investigation is done on our guy Joel Embiid, and they found that the 76ers did not violate that policy. It did throw down discipline for public comments that did not properly reflect Embiid's knee issues. However, Sam Amick and Joe Vardon of The Athletic shared a notable update on Wednesday about the Philadelphia 76ers star's left knee. The report states, though Embiid did not suffer a new injury while competing in the Olympics, his knee is unstable enough that there was concern about further damage had Embiid played to start the NBA regular season. Now, there was growing optimism about him playing Saturday night against the Grizzlies, but now that is not happening. Embiid spoke to the media a little while ago. Basically, the big takeaways from that was he's not going to play Saturday, and there's still no return date. And getting past the mental/trust in his knee hurdle has been the toughest battle to return to the basketball court. Paul George, on the other hand, his knee feels fine, but he needs to get his cardio back up. Needs to get his cardio back up before he hits the floor. So no timetable on either one of those guys. But what do you guys make of the report on Embiid's knee being unstable?
He said a little more than that too. Are you going to go into what he said also?
Oh, just about dogging the one article that was written about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard that one, Eric, but this is good.
So pretty much an article from Marcus Hayes, NPR, a journalist, kind of wrote an article pretty much saying that Embiid, pretty much dogging Embiid for not playing right now. And Embiid
he doesn't want to play, right?
Yeah, that he does not want to play. So Embiid said, when I see people saying stuff like this, that he doesn't want to play, I've done way too much for the city, putting myself at risk for people to be saying that. I do think it's bullshit. Like that dude, he's not here, Marcus. I've done way too much for this fucking city to be treated like this. The guy's name is Marcus Hayes.
He said that?
He said that.
Embiid said that, yeah.
No, I'm saying, no. I'm saying that's what Joel said.
Yeah.
Those exact words.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Marcus Hayes is local, Philly?
I believe Philly so. Guy? He's a local NPR guy, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was strong words. That's why I wanted you to hear that before we jump into this topic.
So Joel's beef was with him for saying that he should have been playing. He should be playing.
Yeah, and that he doesn't want to play.
Pretty much that he's ducking playing.
That he doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, I mean, I guess the reporter has his opinion or whatever. He has the opinion to write, and Joel has his. I think people will listen to both sides. People will listen to both sides and develop their own opinion on it. I do feel that I think from the whole city of Philly perspective, I don't think anyone's going to read that article and say, hey, now I feel the same way. I think they're going to develop their own opinions based on how they feel. Do I think that the majority of people in Philly think that Joel is ducking playing? No. Do I think that they feel he's injury prone? Yes. But I don't get the feeling, and I don't many people that I've talked to don't get the feeling that he's just not playing because he just don't want to. Like, I don't get that feeling. The feeling that I got was, which the NBA confirmed, that they just wasn't telling us the whole story. That's what I've been about this whole time, and the fine confirms that. So, I mean, I guess he has a right to be upset, and I guess the writer has a right to his opinion. So it's disappointing. This is what we're talking about. As far as Paul, I don't understand that part because I'm from a perspective of you build your cardio up more by playing. You just play less or play fewer minutes. So I'm confused at that part. If it's just about cardio, if it's just about trying to make sure you're right, then that's different. But if you're saying cardio, like, what are you? I don't understand what you can do to make it like a game that's not really pounding your body the same way. Like, I don't understand what it is that you can do. So I'm a little confused by that. As far as Joel playing, not playing, what he said Saturday's game against Memphis, then I would believe he's going to be out for a week. I just can't see them bringing him back on the road.
Yeah,
because you almost want to be at home because you want to prepare him for that game, and you also want to treat him the best way after the game. And the best way to do that is to be at home and have your routine and your proper treatment. And if the doctors are there and everyone's there, so you can monitor it better. So I've always thought that he would start at home because of all of that. So I'll be very surprised if he starts on the road. Very surprised. Which leads me to think that he'll miss another week.
Also, that Marcus Hayes guy is,
and those are 3 hard games too.
I know.
He's a Let's say it again.
The reporter Marcus Hayes, not only is the NPR commentator, he's also a Philadelphia Inquirer writer as well. And the article it was an article he wrote for the Inquirer that Embiid was referring to. And also in that article, the guy said the Sixers should refund fans money for the games they paid to watch Joel Embiid play.
Say that again.
In the article, he wrote that the Sixers should refund fans who have bought tickets to watch Joel Embiid play so far this season. For him not playing, they should refund the fans all the tickets for the games they've gone to.
So he said this before they came out and said Joel. Did he write this before they came out and said it was Joel's knees?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because if it came out after, it didn't make sense. But before, I mean, look, I don't think it's right to kind of to go that strong, but I do think that the way they handled it kind of left it like this, because it was just because we're talking every day about, look, we have more questions than answers.
I know.
So I wouldn't go as far as to say people need to get their money back, but I understand the frustration because it was one thing after another, and we were never told it was an injury, even though I assumed it was. I mean, it wasn't all that stuff they were feeding cardio and ramping up and all them little messages they sent out to their little internet people and reporters that put all these reports out. Like, where are they now? I mean, they put all these reports out. He's going to be out for the preseason. He's just ramping it up, and he's just only going to be out for a week. And like, where'd all those people go that was giving us all these updates? Where are the updates at?
Yeah, there was one report yesterday from Shams that said that Embiid was in the ramp-up phase of him getting back to the court, and someone's like, wait, I thought he goes, this is the ramp-up phase of the ramping up? That doesn't make any sense.
Yes. You already said he was ramping up before the season started.
He was ramping up to get
He was
ramped
ramping
up.
up the last week of the preseason, he was ramping up to be ready for the season.
He was ramping up to get ramped
and then
up.
He was ramping up. Yes, and then to ramp up into the season because he started playing 5-on-5 and like
Those are different ramp ups.
Man.
There's a preseason ramp up,
like
regular season ramp up.
I just want to know who in the Sixers organization is putting out these messages, because I don't think they really confirming it with everybody. Like who I know all these national guys. I mean, I guess he used to be Woj. He's retired, but we got Shams and Chris and all these other guys. They do an awesome job. Like they bring some. I read their stuff. I'm just wondering who the Sixer guy is that gives them all the information. You know what I'm saying? Like every team has the guy that kind of, gossip and give them all the information. Because whoever the Sixer guy is, he's not really good at his job at giving all this information out.
It's supposed to be Pompey, isn't
He's
it?
sending mixed signals. It's supposed to be a little firm. I don't know. I'm saying whoever the Sixer guy is giving his information out. He's not good at it. I'm talking about the secret information, not the information that everybody know who it is.
I guess Pompey's inside.
The secret information where, the sources, whoever the source is for the Sixers is giving, that source is giving out information that's got a little sketchy. We got a sketchy source with the Sixers.
Yeah, I mean, well, as far as
those guys are national guys, right? Those guys are national. I'm just saying those guys are national guys. For them to go on ESPN or TNT or whatever they're on, and go and say something like that across the board about a guy, they must have been confirmed with someone they trust and something they believe. And then for that to come now and totally look like it wasn't honest or the truth, somebody's not telling the truth. Those guys aren't going to say that if they don't believe what they're being told. So what are we doing here? Something's not, the whole truth isn't being told. Which I'm like, I hope Joel is healthy and I hope he comes back as soon as possible. First off. But this is leading me to believe that it's worse than they're saying.
It's
nothing wrong with it's leading me to believe that this is worse than they are saying and they believe. This is leading me to believe that because there's nothing wrong with them saying at the beginning of the season he's going to miss 2 or 3 weeks. But you got everybody thinking he's coming back the next game.
Do you think the fact that he played?
I don't know how you can. What I'm saying is, I don't know how you can be so far off in what you're saying. Guys know, and you play in this league, and maybe the people that haven't really played in the NBA or haven't played a professional sport or maybe even played college at that level, you may not know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna try to explain it. Like when you play in those games, not necessarily immediately, you'll know when you can play. It don't take that long for you to know when you can play in the game. If you're playing 5-on-5 and you're working out, because you know what it feels as a professional. You know what it feels, you know how it feels as an athlete. You already know where you can play. It don't take you 3 weeks to 4 weeks to figure out, oh yeah, I can play now. You already know. So for guys not to be playing, it's something there. Or is what the writer is saying, he's ducking. Which one is it? It's no gray, it's no in between. Now, I don't believe that he's ducking, but I do believe that there's more to it.
Do you think they don't want to say certain things because it might draw questions as to why he played in the Olympics?
It could be.
Because if he's not healthy now, he wasn't healthy 3 months ago, Eric.
Joel got injured last season. He didn't finish the season, didn't look himself in the playoffs, didn't look himself in the Olympics, and he obviously isn't himself now. So
yeah, he's
it leads to questions of why was he playing? Because remember, if we remember right, I believe we talked about it on our show. There were people saying that he shouldn't play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then they were saying that, and then you go and play in the Olympics. And I get it. You know, the Olympics is awesome. Even with that experience, want to try to get a gold medal. And there was nothing in between. So something's not right.
I can see that being a thing. They're like, well, if we admit that there is something wrong with his knee, that means either there's two options at that point. Either he was hurt going into the Olympics and shouldn't have played at all, or he had a setback in the Olympics, which pushed back his timetable. Because that's it. Well, what else could there be besides that? Because you have the end of the season and the beginning of the season. In between that, he played basketball at a serious high level. So he either injured it in there or he shouldn't have been playing in there. That's it. I don't think they want to answer those questions. I don't think no one wants to come out and say, I shouldn't have been playing in the Olympics. Then that becomes a whole other topic of can of worms.
Yeah, I mean, then it becomes, on top of just the injury, it becomes whose responsibility is that? So now you put other people into the issue, and not just Joel's injury. So now it's like, okay, well, who okayed this? Well, who recommended this? Which then you got the team, then you got the doctors that said he was okay. Like, you got a lot of other people that are involved.
The Olympic staff,
or did Joel just ignore them? And if he just ignored them, then you're talking about your contract and stipulations and all of that. So it could get real thick.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like whatever it is, the Sixers are in on the cover-up part of it. So they don't want this to get out any more than anyone else does, it sounds like.
Well,
so
you used the word cover-up, didn't you? You used the word cover-up.
I mean, the election's coming up. We got political stuff going on. Let's throw it all the words out there.
But we look, that's probably the best thing that's gonna happen within the next four days is no more political commercials and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to that.
Dude, I don't want to get into that, or text messages, because I'm getting a lot.
Yeah, the commercials are worse. So text messages, mine go to spam. So, but the commercial, I can't watch TV no matter what channel I watch.
Yeah.
I always
the only thing you can watch is Amazon.
Commercial to be finished and then fast forward it or turn it. Yeah. It's like, gotta watch. I only watch sports live, but I don't really watch anything else live, so I can fast forward through most of the stuff. But it's just like, nah, stop. Has it always been like that? I think now it's worse.
Yeah, this year feels worse.
I think they spend a lot. I think a lot more money on media, just like trying to one up each other. As far as I think we talked enough about it.
Does it even work? I mean, do people see those commercials and be like, hey, they're right. I'm gonna go vote because they said,
yeah. You know what? I spent the last 4 years one way. That commercial really got me. That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
I was at an emotional moment in that basketball game, and it was great timing on their part because it got me. Yeah, I don't know. They seem to think it works. That's why they're spent so much. I think it's just constant. They want you to be like bombarded by it to the point where you're like, I just keep hearing it. It must be true. Paul George's, I mean, I couldn't agree more with what you're saying. Like, you're going to simulate real basketball to get in shape for real basketball when there's real basketball being played. I don't get that. I just don't get that. So I'm going to hit up the cardio machines to act like it's a basketball game, but I'm not going to play in tomorrow's basketball game because that's too much. I don't want to do the real cardio. I want to do the simulation cardio to make it act like it's the real cardio. So I don't get. I don't get that. Why? And that's, I don't want to talk about cover-ups again, but maybe they don't want him to play like partial because I don't know. Like they want him like to be the grand opening, not a soft opening. Like if he's going to play 35, 40 minutes, which is also weird to me too. It's like, how do you go from not playing for like 3 weeks to coming out and playing like 37 minutes in a game? He couldn't play 1 or 2 games earlier for 25 minutes. We need the help. Don't tell me 25 minutes of Paul George could help us against the Detroit Pistons. I mean, it can help. I don't know. It'd be one thing if we were like dominating right now, right? Like,
yeah, I mean,
we can win.
That's what I think I think the biggest frustration from it all is the fact that we only won one game.
Yeah,
And
we're hurting.
now what? 1-3? 1-3
Yeah.
or 1-4? What's our record? 1-3 or 1-4?
3.
1-3, and we play a team that's very capable of beating us with Joel and Paul on Saturday, and 3 road games that are always tough on the road. And these are 3 teams that are good teams. In Phoenix and 2 in LA. I mean, we're staring down 1-7.
Yep.
We're staring down 1-7, and we're talking about playing, waiting till our conditioning gets up. I don't doubt that his conditioning is, could taper off, but I just that takes me to it's more than that. That's where it takes me. Because conditioning can't be the reason why you can't play
at all.
Because there's only one way it's more than one way to get ready to play basketball, but it's only one best way to get ready for playing basketball is to play basketball. So, and I'm sure if you're doing that, you can pick 5-on-5, and you can play 3-on-3. You can play 20 minutes. I understand when you say you may not want him to have a soft start, but I think you can do that because he had an injury. I don't think you want him to have a soft start if there's no injury. You just show up and you do that. But if he has an injury, I think it's probably best to give him a soft start.
Yeah, I agree.
And you come out and you playing fewer minutes and then kind of build himself back up. So that limits the expectations for everybody. Him, the team, fans, coaches, everybody.
Yep.
So I'm confused at that approach, which I've always said, when I'm confused about the approach on things that they do, it leads me, I'm not thinking of anybody else, me with my experience, to think that it's more than that.
It's either that or we don't take the regular season seriously at all. Like, at all. We have just a get in the playoffs like Miami type mentality now.
I don't. I'm just saying, like a team that has had home court advantage throughout the playoffs, a team that hasn't gotten past the second round, a team that know how important home court advantage is. I don't know how you can do that. I don't know how you can say that, because right now it's not about the regular season as far as getting a top seed. Right now it's about the regular season and making the playoffs. Like the way we're starting, the lock that we supposedly had is not as firm. You got Orlando looking better. You have Cleveland, who's undefeated, looking great. Milwaukee's struggling, but they got the same amount of wins as us, and they have a starter out too. So you have other teams. Indiana's going to be in there. Knicks going to be on there. Miami got more wins than us.
Brooklyn looks better.
You name
Brooklyn looks improved.
Boston's Boston. Brooklyn looks better. They got more wins than us, I believe.
Yep, they do.
Washington got more wins than us. Atlanta has more wins than us. Charlotte has more wins than us.
The only team with more losses than us in our division beat us. Toronto.
Yeah. And Detroit was 0-4, didn't have any wins, and they beat us. So right now, people are looking at the Sixers like we can beat them. So that's the more confusing stance that we take on, like that you're saying about Paul. It's like right now, like nobody's fearing the Sixers.
Yeah, we could use the help. even for 20 minutes.
Yeah, we got to play. We got to play exceptional, because it's, you know, you have teams that maybe last year or the year before we could beat without Joel. It's a lot more teams that can beat us without Joel this year.
Oh yeah. I mean, dude, look at some of the guys who aren't rostered in the NBA. You can make a team of of those guys. Like, I mean, talent's at an all-time high, I'd say, across the board. You have your 10th, 11th, 12th men who could be starters on some teams.
Whenever you watch our games and Joel and Paul isn't in there, when they put the starters up across the board on both teams, you just look at the rosters. You can be like, okay, I know that team. Like, okay, this team is very comparable, or this team is tough, or good bet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
like with Detroit, when I seen it, I was like, that looks a little. This could be interesting.
Yeah,
because I forgot they had Tobias. I forgot they had Hardaway Jr. They have guys off the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, they had played well this season, close games against really good teams, and like if you watched the game and you didn't know the records, like you wouldn't have known like who was supposed to be the better team.
Yeah. On the bright side though, today, Joel Embiid, Paul George were full participants in practice, including a 5-on-5 scrimmage with the team. Nick Nurse said having those two guys in full scrimmages felt like a normal day at the office. So at least things are returning to normalcy a little bit.
Then why aren't they playing Saturday?
Yeah, normal day at the office. That's like someone driving to the office and leaving.
That's look. No one's trying to hear that if you're not playing. Like,
yeah, man.
Just,
it makes people more
like
it makes people more mad. Actually,
that makes it worse to me. Yeah, that makes it worse.
Yeah, it's worse.
Yeah, that makes it worse. A normal day at the office, but then you don't play in the game. Like,
then you take off. Then you take off
that brings more confusion to me.
They need to take classes on like what's the state of the press, man. You would think they didn't have all offseason to prepare for this. They had all offseason to prepare for these kind of statements with about Joel. Paul George, okay, that was new. They didn't expect that. But Joel, you knew this was going to come. I will say this, though, about the being refunded. This is coming from someone who's paid for – I've gone to five Embiid era games. I think I've seen him once, all right? So I know what I'm getting when I buy a Sixer ticket. I know the risk involved when I buy a Sixer ticket ahead of time, okay? I know it. I've never once even like thought about a refund. That's just rolling the dice, man. You just know when you buy that Sixer ticket, you know when you slap that credit card down, you might not see Joel that night. Just get ready for it.
Yeah, comes with the territory.
I think the one game I mean
that's been the issue, and that's when like people on the road, like it's the games when they go on the road trips where they only go one time. That's always been a complaint right there. It's the guy, we go to Utah or like Denver, and he only play, that's why the Denver game, when they go one time. So it's the West, and I believe they still play a couple Eastern teams once on the road, maybe, but at home, it's not that really that big of a deal because you still get to see them a lot. But those road games, when people are buying them, Sixer fans across the country, and I don't know.
Yeah,
brutal, man.
It's brutal. But yeah, like Eric said, it's not topics we want to be talking about at the start of the season now. But 1-3, and we're talking about this. It's unfortunate.